The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy. Greetings and salutations, listeners. I, Eric J. Chucky, joined, as always, by the boy.
Hello.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast, and my voice might sound a bit strange.
Mine is probably normal.
Yours is fairly normal. I can't really hear myself that well.
You're a little creaky.
A little creaky. I try to do the stupid cat voice that I use for Trixie, my wonderful princess female cat, and it came out all weird and squeaky earlier. So, the reason for this is the pair of us, along with a third wonderful person, attended the Ninja Sex Party concert last night.
Yeah. So we wanted to do sort of a grab bag podcast this week. I mean, almost entirely so we could talk about how awesome that concert was.
And also because I didn't really feel like dragging the boy to Venom.
Yeah, that too. I wouldn't have hated going to see Venom, but I also don't care about Venom.
It's been a full week.
It's been a full couple weeks for us here at the Two Nerds Podcast.
But let's start with Ninja Sex Party, because it's what's on the title card.
Indeed. So the show was in Cleveland. If you don't know where we are, we're in Ohio. As you might be able to guess from the fact that the show was in Cleveland, that's the one we went to.
We're in California, and we were like, we got to go to the Agora. It's the only venue to witness live music.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened there.
We live in a space mansion, and we're like, you know what? Space concerts are dumb. Let's go to Earth.
I think if we lived in a space mansion, one, my life would be way cooler, and two, we could probably get Ninja Sex Party to just come to our space mansion.
Just show up at our space mansion, guys. Please.
But don't show up at my actual house. That'd be depressing for both of us. But the show was really, really cool. It was my first live concert ever. I'd been to other shows, like places with music, bars and stuff, but this was the first time I went to a concert to see the band.
Yeah, there's a difference between a concert and live music. I've been to plenty of concerts, but I've also seen plenty of like street performers, and I've been to pep rallies where we had a live band in high school. I've
been to some harvest festivals with live music, but
sure.
That's not the same thing. I went to this show to see this band, and because a wonderful person bought me tickets.
I was actually planning on seeing this show before said wonderful person decided to purchase tickets, but I decided not to, and then out of the blue, the opportunity does arise.
And so we went, and it was amazing. It was super fun. I do want to highlight the opening band, Planet Booty.
Planet Booty, what up?
Planet Booty was a rollicking good time.
I actually, for the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to get into, probably about a month now at this point, I've been trying to get into some of the other music that we knew we were going to be hearing, because obviously, we knew Tupperware Remix Party was going to be there because they're Ninja Sex Party's backing band. They're part of the band. I'm not sure how you'd put that exactly, but
they're their backing band, and they do collaborations.
Yeah. So I was like, I haven't listened to a lot of twerp, and so I decided to give it some listens, and I enjoyed it. It's up my alley. It's synthwave, and it's hard to go wrong with that. And it's kind of like a cross between rock and roll and Daft Punk. I'm not upset.
Whereas I knew basically nothing about either twerp beyond the songs they'd done with NSP or Planet Booty at all. I hadn't even heard that they were the opening band until we were going to the concert.
Planet Booty, I didn't realize were going to be the opening band until maybe a week beforehand. Because, well, listener, this is kind of a long story. I'll try to tell it quickly, but I'm not as young as I used to be. I know that's obvious, but it doesn't come into play quite as obviously until you're like, I have to go to a place where I'm used to jumping into a pit full of people smashing into each other. First of all, I don't feel like this is that kind of concert, unless they're doing a different kind of smashing. And secondly, do my dusty old bones full of green dust want to put up with that? No, probably not. I almost died on the way there choking on my own spit, so, you know.
I am a touch-averse nerd boy who never wanted to go down there in the first place.
So, I forget why I told that story. Oh, no, so I was looking up on the Reddit to see what the concert was like, to see what the floor was like, and I happened to notice that they picked up Planet Booty at some point, so I'm like, I'll give them a listen. And I like their stuff. I wouldn't have described it as my kind of music, but I liked it a lot. But as the night went on, I had a stronger and stronger turnaround on that. I mean,
yeah, like the music's pretty good. I wouldn't describe it as like my usual cup of tea either. I think that's fairly obvious for people who know me well if you go listen to the band. But their stage show is so endearing and positive, and their frontman is ridiculously charismatic. And by the end of the night, I would consider myself a fan of that band just because of how charismatic their front guy is and how positive they are, how reaffirming and nice it was to be a part of their concert.
Yeah, I spoke with two of them after the show, and I don't have their details pulled up because they're kind of, I think they're on their Facebook. Dylan, I know, is the frontman's name, and the other guy who did some very lovely singing. And they have a bassist. But I spoke with Dylan briefly and the other dude as well after the show. No offense to you guys. I just, it's really hard to keep your shit pulled up without getting notifications and messing up my recording, but I doubt you're listening to this anyway.
If you are, seriously, thank you. That was a great
show. Fantastic show. What a positive guy. You know, just after the show, really positive interactions with the dude. I bought some of their merch because NSP was out of 3X shirts. So I was like, hey, I'm going to spend some money here. I might as well spend it on these boys. They're running their own merch table. I know about that Hard Knock life. Not personally, but I know a lot of bands. So it makes me sound more important than I am. I know a lot of bands that don't exist anymore because they're my friends. But yeah, I was happy to support them. And you should support them too. Their shit's on Spotify if you want to do it that way. If not, man, go to their website, Planet Booty. Amazing. Really got me hyped. Really made me feel good. Just really good music full of love and worshiping of the butt, which is a thing that deserves worship.
In general, yes.
But man, my real surprise of the night, like, I came around on Planet Booty pretty hard, but I did not realize how good Torp's stage show is. They
absolutely, like, went for it, man.
I did not realize how good Dr. Sung was at dancing. What, like, stunts and, like, mixing aerobics and martial arts and just doing cool shit. Like, it really, really blew me away. And, like, obviously I've heard Ninja Sex Party's music and I've heard Tupperware Remix Party's music, but I just didn't piece together how good Lord Phobos is on the guitar. And,
Lord Phobos is an excellent guitar solo artist. Like, that was, his solos were interesting, well put together, and they didn't overstay their welcome. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get all three of those together in one person?
Well, and it was just cool to watch him play, too. I had a really great vantage point of him. I had a couple people taller than me in front of me at the show, so I couldn't see everything all the time. Very different from being in the pit.
It was a packed house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they were sold out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
I think they were. I think the person who bought our ticket said she got, like, the last three.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, it was, you know, that I got to see him doing his finger work and just in his cool costume and all their cool costumes. It was just really, really good, you know. Also,
again, they kept the energy up. I mean, it was my first concert, so I don't have a lot to compare to, but it was really fun to be part of that sort of experience, to be part of the crowd, to be enjoying the show with other people, and I'm not usually that guy.
No, well, and it like it's something you have to buy into, you know. You go to a wrestling show and you listen to the chanting, and you're like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. I want to sing Fandango's song for no reason. You know, you kind of have to buy the ticket and take the ride,
Very
right?
much the same thing as a wrestling show. Yeah, I'm not normally a dude who likes to be a part of crowds, and I don't like to be around a lot of people, but there's something about being a part of a crowd experiencing a specific thing, experiencing a show that I really, really enjoy. And Torp did an excellent job of like making their show fun to be a part of.
Yeah. Just all the bands did, man. It was just really fantastic. You know, I've been to a couple of other shows before, and it was I was there for the music, and I was there for the headliners. And this was another thing, as we transition into talking about Ninja Sex Party here, that I thought was pretty interesting, was, and you had some theories on this, and I'd love for you to share, but when Danny and Brian got on stage, it wasn't like, I wasn't starstruck, you know? When I went to concerts before, it was like, oh my god, it's Violent J, oh my god, it's Rob Zombie. That's really them right there. And it wasn't like overwhelming, but it was still, that was a celebrity, you know? Mm-hmm. That the reaction you expect to have. When Danny and Ninja Brian came out, I was like, it is Danny and Ninja Brian here to sing those songs I like. Good.
It was very much less a, you know, oh my god, it's them. It's, you know, it's those guys I know from the internet. They're super famous and have millions of views and all that, and they're like platinum artists. It was more, oh, it's Dan. Yeah. Oh, it's Brian. Oh, good. They're gonna do the fun stuff now.
Yeah, fantastic. There was a little bit of, oh my god, Danny is way more cut than I thought, but...
Dude's been hitting the gym.
He has been, man.
Brian has no need. His
Brian
ninja power requires no gym work.
Perfect as he is.
But, yeah, the thing I read, I forget exactly where it is, so take this with some amount of salt that you find appropriate.
Always check your sources, kids.
Always, and I'm not even going to be able to give you any, so best of luck. But I read a thing, like a study, I think it was, that said that while we're able to cognize, as people, like humans, are able to cognize that fictional stories are fictional, we're not able to really well emotionally separate our fondness for people if they're fictional. So, like, a friendship with someone who is real, who you've met, and like a friend, and like really being fond of a fictional character, while we're aware one is fictional intellectually, emotionally it's hard for us to separate and like have that as a separate thing. It's one of the reasons that like you go into, it's called like a show hole after like a show you really love is over, or...
I'm about to go through that myself. I had these thoughts. I'm finally finishing up the last season of Longmire after all these years, and there's been a couple of times when they were going through moments, and I'm like, I'm going to miss these characters. I mean, I could watch the show over again, but that's not really how I do things, and, you know...
It's not the same.
It's not the same, so it's like, no more new experiences with these guys. That's kind of sad.
And it is sort of like that, and that's what I think it is. I think that, and then all the hours of Game Grumps and Steam Train, and... Because if we just watched NSP's music, I don't think we would have had this. I think we would have had a much more celebrity-like reaction.
Maybe.
Because that would have been how we interacted with them, but because of all the hours of just hearing these guys talk that we've done...
The familiarity.
It breeds a level of emotional familiarity in our heads that makes it so that they just kind of feel like friends.
Like, I mean, honestly, the way Danny walked out on stage...
Which must be fucking weird for them.
Well, I mean, you know, they're already in it, right? Like, they're not coming late, but relatively speaking, they came late into the wave of internet celebrity, you know, and that's kind of been the case for a lot of people, like, you know, Matt Mercer and Linkara, let's say, and people of their ilk, who have people at cons walking up to them and being like, hey, I watch your stuff all the time and I know your intimate thoughts, so... So I wonder if it isn't all that strange for them. This is just kind of how things are, you know?
That's fair. But they were obviously having a great time, which was nice because, like, I was mildly concerned that wouldn't be the case, that I'd be able to see them putting on a show, as it were.
That's the interesting point. And when I spoke with the frontman for Planet Booty, after, you know, when I was looking at his merch table and stuff, he was so fucking kind. Guy could give a hug like nobody's business. He said, hey, we really had fun out there. And, like, you bringing that up now, that Ninja Sex Party was just having fun. I've seen live concert footage before where the band is, like, doing their act.
They're here to do their act. They're here to put on a show, and it's a nice show, but this is work for them. And I'm sure it's work for Danny and Brian. I mean, Jesus Christ, I saw their show. They were moving.
It's just work for Dr. Stone. If it's not work for them, jeez.
It's work for Danny. Even if Brian is most of the time just standing there.
He did some little dances.
He did some little dances. I liked the one where he would turn around slowly.
Yeah, during
you spin me around. Yeah. But like Danny is fucking on the move.
Oh yeah,
constantly.
He dances so interestingly. I really appreciate it, but
it didn't feel like they were at work. It felt like they were having a good time,
Yeah.
and that was really positive for me because I don't like putting people out, and I think it would have really impacted my ability to enjoy the show if I saw past it. So I mean, even if it was an act and they were having like a shitty day, great job. You fooled me.
Well, and that's that's kind of the thing too, is having a public persona like that. There's a difference between Rob Zombie, the musician, and the director, and so on and so forth. Rob Zombie at home versus Rob Zombie on stage, And, like, in those things, sometimes you get those human moments, but mostly you're getting the act. And while there's nothing wrong with the act is what you paid to see. Guys like Danny and Brian, who, Brian doesn't break character, but who are,
Which is great.
Sure. Whose genuine moments you see all the time, and then they're just on stage doing the same fucking thing. There's something to be said for that. There's you get that better connection with the artists while you're in the crowd, and it was a real positive show. I think there was like maybe one or two people who were yelling stuff, but it wasn't even anything offensive. They just really wanted him to play 6969.
And there was that one guy who asked for like. It wasn't Freebird, but it was the Freebird equivalent, and he yelled it like a couple times during the show.
Yeah. One of their cover songs, I think he was asking them to play. Wish You Were Here.
Sure.
But it was fine. And, I did mean to say this earlier, but I was delighted by it. When Danny came out, relating to that whole Game Grumps YouTube persona mentality thing, he opened with, how's it going, dudes? And, like, it was that immediate connection, This is, what else I do. We all watch it. Let's not pretend. And the crowd popped, and it was just a great start, man.
Something else I didn't... I had heard, obviously, about concerts, but having never been in a concert venue, Jesus... It is so loud. Not the music. The music was loud, but, like, enjoyably loud. Like, thumping in my chest, and that was cool and fun. The people were fucking unbelievably loud. It was louder than my brain could process.
We killed a dinosaur with our loudness.
During that thing, when they said, yell as loud as you possibly can, right?
Mm-hmm.
It got so loud that my ears started artifacting. Like, I started hearing static and the sound cut out because I, as a person, couldn't handle that much noise all at once.
Yeah, it's nuts. And that's the thing, too, as you were saying, when you're singing along, like, late in the show, man, after yelling along with Planet Booty, I didn't really know their songs that well, but they were very good at instructing us to yell stuff. And, with Twerp, and then, of course, Ninja Sex Party, whose songs I know a hell of a lot better.
I sang along to literally all of their songs.
There was, like, one or two
I'm not super great with the hit, so I let that one slide. But with the others, I sang all the words I knew because they were the headline band. They're the band I knew before, going in, and I really like their music.
Yeah. But, like, the crowd kind of auto-tunes you, because I could feel my voice was, like, shredded, Obviously, we're in default voice. We're in real voice. I'm not projecting very well, and I'm sorry for that. But I was thrashed at a couple points during the show, and I could feel myself singing like off key, real hard.
Oh yeah,
my vocal control was just
hear
shot.
my own voice at all, but I could definitely in your throat. You can hear.
You're like,
you can feel. Oh, I'm flat.
My inner ear.
I'm awful flat.
But it drowns out. You don't sound stupid, and nobody's there to fucking judge you. So
they're there to listen to the actual band.
They sure
and
as
sing
hell
along.
Are. So yeah, you can be as awful as you want to be. And it was like there's these dudes in front of me that just bros like us, rock and roll bros. They was just so excited. And the one dude was like, "Oh, do you think they're gonna play this one song? Oh man, it's gonna be this one." And then they announced one of the songs they were playing, and he literally like held his hands to his head, like, "Oh my god." It was magical, man. It's shit like that.
And even in the merch line after, there were dudes just having a really intricate discussion about Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild.
And Breath of the Wild, like, right behind us. It was nice to be, as Danny says it, you finally found your tribe. It was nice to be with my tribe for a change.
Yeah, it was. Even if it wasn't a lot of interaction. It was fun, man. And it reminded me, there's a reason I used to do this shit every now and then. And that I kind of want to do it more often. So I'm going to have to keep track of the concert scene that comes out east. There's a lot of bands I'd love to see. But time and money, right?
But that was the Ninja Sex Party show. It was a fucking amazing time. I loved it. I would not mind going to more concerts. I think it'll have to be bands I really like, though.
Yeah, I think you're always going to be pickier about that kind of shit.
I'm not a crowds guy.
Respect.
So it's got to be someone I can. It's got to be someone I can disconnect from and be a part of the show.
Well, and in that sense, I got into this shit when I was in high school, and I was still kind of mutable. So I'm not as touch-averse as you are, but in general, there's like an understanding of, okay, I'm at the concert now. The rules are different. My body and my senses understand that, so it's not as hard to function.
But we should probably talk about what else we did.
Yeah, we killed a man.
Well, 5 men. We pumped the brakes at that point. But no, it was... I played a little Witcher 3.
Yeah, this is for the last couple weeks, honestly.
Yeah, it's been fun. I think I would like the combat more, and this is going to sound like... I'm going to want to slap me by the end of this sentence. I will want to reach back in from the past and slap myself.
I'm making grabby hands.
But I think I would like the combat more if I hadn't just played Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3.
It does it to you.
Because it feels... The Witcher combat, by contrast, feels so loose and messy and unresponsive.
And it's the dumbest fucking thing, because as much of an uphill battle as it is to learn Dark Souls combat, once you feel that vibe, you get on that vibe. And I was that kind of person, and other people on the internet, because I'm on the Reddit, I've been that kind of person where they're like, this isn't going to happen. And then they play the game, and they're like, oh shit, I can't play the games now.
Because it's either you're either just stupid, like your hands don't work for other combat systems, or you get the remotest bit into the combat system and suddenly you're an untouchable laser god who's just firing beams of pure ass kick out of his eyes. And I've had both of those with The Witcher 3. When I first started, I was terrible, and then I got sort of used to what it wanted, and now I'm just unstoppable.
I played very briefly, long enough for my horse to glitch into the inn.
Which was a beautiful glitch.
It was a fun glitch.
Fully into that first inn. He poked his little head out the window.
Yeah. But I've been watching him play a little bit, and I have some intentions to get into it myself. It's kind of a weird game. Am I right in looking like the genre is a bit strange?
The story genre is fine. The mechanics are interesting.
It seems like it's one of those Herman card gauge things where it's not quite one thing and almost another.
Yes, no one's gonna get that, but yes.
Yeah, man, Strong Bad's a pretty popular thing. I feel like someone out there remembers Strong Bad. You know what? I said the Herman. That was the trick. Sonor card gauge, excuse me. The Herman card gauge is a completely original character, which I did not steal. But like just looking at the game and playing it, it's like this is almost an action RPG, but it's almost not. I mean, obviously that's what genre it is, but it feels so weirdly different that if someone told me that CD Projekt Red is a game studio from another alternate Earth, I'd be like, oh, okay.
That really tracks.
Makes a lot of sense.
A lot of stuff's falling into place now. But yeah, I mean, basically, it's just I like it because it makes it feel unique. It's a Witcher game.
Sure.
The other thing we've done a lot of is I believe we talked about WWE 2K19.
That was the last podcast.
But we didn't talk much about Universe Mode because we hadn't touched it yet. Now we have.
We put our stupid fingers all over that shit.
We decided to do a universe mode with the actual roster, like we said we were going to, I believe, because I'm a smartass. And we've been booking it, I think, better. You know how you know. The first thing you know, Braun Strowman is currently Universal Champion, and Rusev is currently WWE Champion.
I don't know if that's better booking, but I like it.
Well, that's the only real metric in which we have to meet, because
Sure.
The audience will take whatever booking I make. So
You're Vince McMahon now.
if I want someone cheered, I go into the little thing and I set their setting to cheer, and oh look, they're cheered now. I only have to entertain myself.
It's been like kind of stupid fun though. It's been a number of years since we've done, first of all, done this much of a universe mode. I think we've sat down about 3 times to fuck with it.
And we do like 1 or 2 pay-per-view cycles, and then we just stop.
And
I think part of that is due to the unfinished nature of universe mode. It felt very. This one feels much more complete.
Like I said last time, man, the 2K18 felt like a beta for 2K19.
And that's just true across the board. There is one glitch that's still going on, where sometimes characters I make, not characters he makes, but characters I make only, and he's watched me make them, and I don't do anything different, will sometimes play 2 to 3 instances of their entrance music all at once. That's infuriating, because it feels like I'm cursed.
Other people have had this issue. I guess it's not a really common one. I would guess I'd have to like clear the cache or something. I don't know, but hopefully 2K just patches it. It is frustrating. I'm not going to disagree with that, because you're all hyped to watch an entrance. We already have to deal with the on-disc music. We can't import our own shit. We're already operating at suboptimal levels when we have had tasted ambrosia in the past. And now this is horrible, discordant. Sometimes for no reason the Rock's music just starts to play.
Yeah, sometimes it's the Rock's music also, which is really frustrating because it's only ever his.
Like, it's one thing when it's your music again or the last guy that came out or something, but then like the Rock
sometimes
out of
it's
nowhere.
the Rock's music. And I don't want the Brahma Bull at all times, okay? Sometimes the Great One can stay home.
But it's been really cool. Like, it's been even longer since we've done a universe mode with the actual WWE characters.
Have we ever done that at any sort of length?
Not for very long, and it was, like, I'd say at least 5 years ago.
Like, I think it was maybe the first year they came out with universe
First or
mode.
second, yeah. And we like integrated our guys into it slowly. And then
Slowly
after that,
firing all the real wrestlers we didn't want to deal with.
every game after that, we were just like, let's just get our guys done and then start universe mode.
I think this is a more healthy way of doing it, because having to get all our guys done first really like front loads getting to enjoy the game for like 2 months while we do the slow, arduous process of making the creator wrestlers we're both very precious about.
Well, it's kind of the fun thing about this year too, as we mentioned last time on the podcast. For whatever reason, those characters, we've decided they've moved on, a lot of them. We like to keep some internal consistency with our shits, because that's the kind of nerds we are. So, so-and-so retired, so-and-so is injured, so-and-so is just doing something else now, So, you've been making a lot of new guys. I've been making newer guys. I've been making a lot of characters who aren't mine, just to be like, fuck it. So, there haven't been quite as many I'm very precious about this guy moments. And it's been freeing in one way. In another, it's kind of like, well, what do I do now? Because I'm used to having this big, here's 15 dudes you should probably make because they're very important in this interconnected world. And no, I ain't got that. I got maybe 5 dudes. But, man, the tag mechanics, the new tag matches have...
Fun!
Yeah, really incentivized.
Hot tags are infinitely improved by being a buff and not a weird QuickTime event.
And everything is just so much more organic. Like, and it's fun, and the game is fun. It's funny how little they had to change to make the game fun. Just make it a little faster, and they overhauled the striking system, but I think it still would have been good without that, if they just made it faster.
Like Dark Souls 3, sometimes all you gotta do is make it faster.
Yeah, man. We've been up to something else, haven't we?
Oh, we played some D&D. We started a new D&D game. It's going well.
That's true.
I'm playing a Divine Soul Sorcerer, which I've wanted to play for months because there's an NPC in the game I'm DMing who is a Divine Soul Sorcerer, and I really love that class and all the stuff involved. It's fun. I was level 1, which, but...
We usually start our games at level 3 because that's when your class gets interesting. But we're playing with a bunch of returning people and one completely new person at D&D, so...
Starting at level 1 is how you start.
Ease them into it a little bit.
And it was fun still.
Yeah.
I have wrangled as many possible spells as I could get my grubby little hands on, and I have a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been good. I'm DMing. I would say unfortunately, but I need to work on my DMing, so I'm happy to do it. I do love to play, though. I'm always eager to make a new character. There's so many cool options in 5th edition. There
are so many. But I can't think of anything else we've really been up to. You?
No, that's about all that's worth reporting. Miscellaneous 10 minutes there, but it's stuff actually we've been meaning to talk about. That.
Oh, you got a Switch.
Oh, yeah, I did buy a Nintendo Switch. I've been playing Mario Odyssey. I don't know if I could do a full podcast on that. It's fun as fuck. The game came out last year. That's nothing new for the True Nerds podcast. I talk about something that came out years ago. Cough, Battle Royale, cough. But, it's not... It's good. It's Mario. It's a really good Mario.
I haven't played it yet because I've been doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're all done here. Everything's better when nerds
with
talk
booty.
About it. Everything is better with booty.